I welcome everyone. In last class, we saw about the .NET Framework architecture. That is, what is .NET Framework architecture, how it relates to C#, why we have to study about .NET Framework, and what is a framework architecture, and what are the components involved in that architecture, like that. So today in this class, let us see some of the design principles of .NET Framework. So to create .NET based applications, the .NET Framework is having some of the design principles. Let us see one by one. First one, interoperability. Here the .NET Framework provides a lot of backward support. Generally, interoperability means it is a characteristic of a system or software whose interfaces are completely understood to work with other systems at present or in the future without any restrictions. So that is what called interoperability. Here the .NET Framework provides a lot of backward support. Those are called the characteristics of .NET Framework. That is, a older version application can be executed on new version .NET Framework. The older version softwares, applications which are developed on .NET platform can be updated and also be executed on new version .NET Framework. That is the first design principle of .NET Framework. The second design principle is portability. We are already familiar with the word portable. We have already studied in Java and C# that it is a feature of those languages. It is one of the feature of those languages. Portable means a software which is developed in one platform can be transformed to another platform. Likewise here, the applications which are developed on the .NET Framework can be made to work on any Windows platform. Application which is developed on .NET Framework can be executed on any kind of Windows platform. And now in recent times, Microsoft also makes Microsoft products to work on other platforms such as iOS and Linux. The third design principle is security. This .NET Framework has a good security mechanism. That mechanism is predefined already. That is inbuilt security mechanism which is in .NET Framework. It helps in both validation and verification of applications. You may know what is validation and what is verification. You could have studied in your software engineering or system software papers. What is called validation? Validation is the process of evaluating the final product to check whether the software meets the business needs. Here the business need is for both the producer view of quality and the consumer's view of quality. And verification. What is called verification? Verification is the process of evaluating the intermediary work products of a software development lifecycle to check if we are in the right track of creating the final product. So here the verification and validation both should be done in an application. Validation is simply evaluating the final product to check whether it meets the customer needs or business needs, where verification is the process of evaluating the step-by-step process during the product development. Now and then it should be verified whether we are in correct path or in right track to achieve the final product. So the inbuilt security mechanism helps to done both validation and verification of applications. So this is the third design principle of .NET Framework architecture. Next design principle is memory management. In the .NET Framework architecture itself, we studied about the garbage collector. It is a term going to manage the memory. In previous class, we discussed about this garbage collector in .NET Framework architecture, where one of the key feature of .NET Framework architecture is garbage collector. Here the common language runtime, that is CLR, does all the work or memory management by using the concept garbage collector, which runs as part of the .NET Framework. This garbage collector runs at regular intervals, like 15 minutes once, or 10 minutes once, or 30 minutes once. Likewise, it runs at regular intervals and keeps on checking which system resources or memory are not utilized for long time. If it identifies anything like so, it frees them accordingly. So this is what the work of garbage collector, that is, it is going to verify whether is there any unwanted resources or memory spaces which is not used for longer time. If it identifies anything like that, immediately it will remove it from there. This is what the work of garbage collector called memory management. This is another design principle of .NET Framework architecture. The next design principle is simplified deployment. Deployment is all of the activities that make a software system available for use, which includes software release, installation, testing, deployment, and performance monitoring. The .NET Framework also have some tools which can be used to package applications, which is built on the .NET Framework. Using those tools, the developed applications can be packaged, and these packages can then be distributed to client machines, and the packages would then automatically install to the application. So this is what simplified deployment, that is, the deployment process will be simplified for the applications which is developed on the .NET Framework. So this is another design principle of .NET Framework architecture. So these 5 are the design principles of .NET Framework architecture. What are the 5 design principles we discussed now for .NET Framework architecture? The first one, interoperability. Second one, portability. Third one, security. Fourth one, memory management. Fifth one, simplified deployment. So these 5 are called design principles of .NET Framework architecture. Now let us see some of the advantages of C#. First one, C# is very efficient in managing the system. All the garbage is automatically collected in C#. So we are telling that it is very efficient in managing the system. How it is possible? All the garbage is automatically collected here, so the management is very easy and efficient. The second advantage is there is no problem of memory leak in C# because of its high memory backup. Here the high memory backup is available, so there will be no problem for memory leak. The third advantage is cost of maintenance is less and is safer to run as compared to other languages. Maintenance cost is less and also it is safer while we compare to other languages. The last advantage is C# code is compiled to an intermediate language, that is .NET, which is a standard language. This language independently irrespective of the target operating system and architecture. So once a source code is compiled to intermediate language, then it can be used in any operating system or any platform and architecture. So these are some of the advantages of C#. Next, let us see some disadvantages of C#. First one, C# is less flexible as it depends a lot on .NET Framework. Even though we said it is portable, C# is less flexible as it depends a lot on .NET Framework. It depends more on .NET Framework, So it is less flexible to other platforms. Next disadvantage is C# runs slowly and program needs to be compiled each time when any changes are made. So this program may be executed slowly, and whenever we made changes in source code, it should be compiled again. We cannot use the existing compiled source code. Whenever we made change, it should be compiled immediately for the execution. So these are known as some of the disadvantages of C#. So in previous class, we started with .NET Framework architecture, and in this class, we discussed some of the design principles of .NET Framework architecture, and we saw some advantages and disadvantages of C#. So these are known as the introduction of C# and .NET Framework architecture. So from next classes onwards, we shall see how to make the source code in C#, how to execute it, what are the statements are included in C# source code, what is the structure of C# source code, everything we will see from next class onwards. Okay, I'll meet you in next class. Thank you.